Climate change, oil spills in the oceans, acid rain. These are phrases that we hear more and more and are related to the greatest current source of energy, fossil fuels. For this reason, in recent decades, ways of obtaining renewable energy have been developed. These are energy sources that use less energy than fossil fuels and hour. Although this sounds like an utopian solution, not all that glitters is gold. Renewable energy is not always clean and can have various environmental impacts that are hardly talked about. It's very important to know them, and this is why today I will tell you a little about some examples of these impacts. Good afternoon, my name is Cicely. Okay, to get started, wind turbines used to produce wind power can scatter electromagnetic signals that cause interference in communication systems. In addition, turbines produce a lot of noise from the air that passes through them, and this affects the animals near them. Another drawback that affects wild animals is collisions with the blades that can be deadly. Secondly, hydraulic energy requires large constructions that alter both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, and therefore their biodiversity. In addition, the large amount of water needed to produce energy causes the flow of rivers to decrease, which causes changes in water quality. Continuing with tidal energy, we must know that the facilities to generate this kind of energy are very invasive for the marine flora and fauna, and also affect the quality of water. Likewise, the facilities require a high initial investment. The disadvantages of geothermal energy are that it is not completely clean, since gases such as carbon dioxide can escape into the air and water and can also become polluted with substances such as ammonia. Biomass is renewable energy, but not a clean one, since it requires combustion to produce energy. And like fossil fuels, it produces greenhouse gases. In fact, it's a type of energy that is closely related to fossil energy, since their origins are very similar. In general, we can say that the main problems of renewable energy are their dependence on atmospheric phenomena. So the amount of energy generated is not controllable, which means a significant investment by governments and private institutions that wish to implement them, and that also they require the use of large fields. We can conclude by saying that the use of renewable energies implies several collateral effects, such as the invasion of various ecosystems, the noise they emit, their dependence on natural phenomena, and the fact that not all renewable energy sources are necessarily clean. This is why it's important not to idealize a solution and think about the possible impacts that it entails. However, it is necessary to consider that they continue to be a less harmful alternative for the environment. So let's develop a technology so that each time we get closer to a way of life that minimally harms our environment. Energy is essential for today's life. However, we can use it and produce it responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, Cicely. You're right. It's very difficult to find an energy that doesn't really impact, or whose impact to the environment is minimum. Okay, let's see if anybody has a question. Does anybody have a question? Santa Cruz first, and then Christian, and then Christian Octavio. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, actually, I have a question. Is better or not better using natural natural options for getting energy? Because actually the technology are walking faster, very faster. So things like the eolic source of energy are actually evolving, like the oscillation, oscillation generator of eolic energy, that actually is like the turbine, the air turbine used for the electric generators that, that are eolic. But this actually doesn't need the using of how are called how are called mm, the using of things as big as ventilators, and we just need to use a minor amount of ah excuse me, I actually don't remember what is the word, which is the word for resources. And with that, we don't affect as much the animals with the little the little size of the generator.
Um, okay, in case of aeolic energy, we can use smaller turbines because um, we don't have just one turbine for one house, for example. The purpose is to feed an entire city, for example, or a small town, but the energy still be a lot that the people needs to use. So no, that's not a viable solution. And also, although the size of these generators would be um, smaller, um, animals still have problems with them because of the noise and principally because we are invading their space, their natural environment. So that's like the principal reason. So we still have like the same problems.
Thank you, Cicely. I think that Christian has another question. So let's see, Christian, can you please ask your question?
Yeah, and actually, the nuclear energy is good because just for the problem of Chernobyl, everyone satanized them.
Yes, well, nuclear energy is a very interesting topic, but nuclear energy is a clean energy, not a renewable energy. So that's why I didn't include it here. But yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway,